Hello, welcome aboard. I am Richard Nongard with SubliminalScience.com and the International Certification Board of Clinical Hypnotherapists. I'm very happy that you've decided to join me for this 5-part resource series on self-hypnosis. This program has been designed to help you accomplish the goals that are most important to you in life by training you in the successful methods of self-hypnosis. There are 5 components to this program, and each program builds on the skills that have been taught in the previous program. Ideally, participants will take about 5 weeks to go through the material, participating in session number 1, and then practicing that each day for a period of 7 days until the following week when they participate in part 2, doing the homework for part 2 for a week, taking 5 weeks to actually develop the skills of successful self-hypnosis. Now, at any time as you participate in this program, you have any questions, you can always email me, but probably the best place to ask questions is one of our 2 online forums. On Facebook, we have a huge group, almost 2,500 professional hypnotists, and you can find that group on Facebook by simply going to www.icbchgroup.com. So icbchgroup.com takes you to our group on Facebook where you can feel free to ask me any question. And the cool thing about that forum is it's very active, and you're also going to get the opinions and ideas from many others who are practicing self-hypnosis and professional hypnotists as well. Our online forum at HypnoThoughts can be found by simply going to www.icbchforum.com. And if you're not a member of HypnoThoughts.com yet, I encourage you to join our group there. It's another great place to ask questions and get really good feedback. Let me take a minute to overview what I'm going to be doing in each of the 5 sessions. Today, in session 1, I'm going to be talking about self-hypnosis, what it is, and some of the strategies for auto-hypnosis induction, as well as the utilization of trance. These are the same techniques that I teach my clients when they're here in my office. This is my office. This is actually where I work with clients. And I take time to teach almost all of my clients self-hypnosis. Ideally, I don't want them to come back to my office. I've always said that professionals know they're good when their clients no longer need them. I try to equip my clients with the skills when they are in my office to be able to solve problems and do well apart from needing weekly appointments here in my office. So I'm going to be teaching you the same strategies that I teach my clients during session 1 so that they can utilize deep states of self-hypnosis, and you're going to be able to do that right here in our very first session. Session number 2 is going to focus on emotional intelligence and self-hypnosis. This is an area that I don't hear talked about too often in the world of hypnotherapy training. But emotional intelligence is that capacity not only to manage difficult emotions, but more importantly than that, the ability to create resource states and emotional states to draw from to problem solve in the real world. Session number 2 is going to focus on creating joy, creating happiness, creating a connection to others, and to develop a strong emotional foundation for healthy interpersonal actions. It's really the definition of emotional intelligence. Session number 3 is going to focus on helping you to develop an inner confidence. Confidence is something else which I think is an important resource state for all of us to draw from. This session is going to focus on creating confidence so that we can utilize that confidence in any aspect of our life, from our personal relationships to achieving our own goals and dreams, to being able to interact with others in a variety of different formats, maybe even speaking or developing skills that can serve as a foundation for your success. Session number 4 is going to focus on the gift of now. In my hypnosis practice, I focus on the present. I'm not really interested in working with my clients and going back into the past to resolve issues. In fact, we can't change the past. A lot of my clients, they have difficulties because they're fearing the future, but the future's not here. All we really have is right now. And this session, session number 4, is going to include a bonus MP3. So there's actually 2 MP3s for session number 4. And it's going to focus on helping you shift awareness and creating valuable resource states in the present. You're going to be able to take the strategies that you learn in session number 4 and apply them to every aspect of your own personal success. Session number 5 is going to be our last session. And this is something I call the ultimate hypnosis session. It's a session that I've written for you to benefit from directly during the teaching and during the practice sessions, but something I want you to be able to share with others as well. If you're a professional hypnotist with your clients, if you're not a professional hypnotist, feel free to share lesson number 5, the MP3, the ultimate hypnosis session with your friends. I think it will benefit them tremendously. It's going to help you tap into the reservoir of strengths that you possess, some of which you might not even yet be aware of. You're going to learn how to overcome any difficulty and maximize your personal well-being through our 5th session. I teach this to most of the clients who come into my office, and they find it among the most useful strategies that I teach them. That's the overview for the course. I'm very happy that you've decided to participate fully in this course. Each course basically has 3 components. Component number 1 is the video, which of course you're watching now. Component number 2 is the MP3, and in each lesson I've prepared an MP3 to help you coach you through applying and learning the material related to self-hypnosis, which will be most beneficial to you. I've also included a PDF, a script, really a transcript of that MP3 with each session. And the reason why is simple. Some of you might like to teach this to the clients that you're working with, or if you're a teacher, you might like to teach this to some of the students that you're working with, and having those transcripts of the MP3s can give you a valuable resource of professional hypnotherapy scripts you can use not only to benefit yourself, but to benefit others as well. As we get into the material, what I really want to begin to look at are some definitions. I think one of the major difficulties people have with self-hypnosis is they really don't understand what state they're trying to achieve, because they don't understand what hypnosis is. Now, hypnosis is a word that I think is actually an umbrella word. There are a lot of different things underneath it, ranging from self-hypnosis to stage hypnosis to regression hypnosis to contextual hypnotherapy to really a variety of different things, meditation as hypnosis. There are a lot of things that really fall underneath the umbrella of the word hypnosis. But the definition that we're going to use in this course really is a simple and I think an accurate definition even for many of these other flavors of hypnosis. And that is, hypnosis is the utilization of trance states towards a specific outcome. Let me share that with you again. Hypnosis is the utilization of trance states towards a specific outcome. The reason why people are interested in self-hypnosis is they want to derive a certain outcome. They might want to use self-hypnosis to change patterns and habits. They might want to use self-hypnosis to create resource states like confidence or emotional intelligence. They might want to use self-hypnosis to create a physical change. Let's take somebody who's learning self-hypnosis because they're dealing with chronic pain. Or a person might want to practice self-hypnosis, the specific outcome, to prepare them to heal faster prior to a surgical process. Here in my office, I do a lot of work with clients, helping them prepare for surgery. Just this past week, I saw 2 different clients. Both of those clients were mastectomy patients. They were both scheduled for surgery within the next week or 2. And the research tells us something really interesting. It tells us that when we spend time teaching medical meditation or self-hypnosis to people prior to surgery, there are 3 outcomes that often occur. Outcome number 1 is they recover faster. Outcome number 2 is they have less dependency on pain medications post-surgery. That aids in recovering faster. And outcome number 3 is they decrease the risk associated with anesthesia, because lower levels of anesthesia can actually be used during the surgical process with those clients. So those are all examples of specific outcomes. A person might want to use self-hypnosis because they desire a specific outcome. The part that I really want you to focus on in this definition, though, is that hypnosis is the utilization of trance states. Hypnosis is the mechanism that utilizes trance states that naturally occur in our life. Trance is something we experience in many different ways, and we experience trance every single day. As a matter of fact, there is not a minute of the day that you are not in trance. We are all in trance all of the time. Sometimes we're in our anxiety trance. Sometimes we're in our parenting trance. Sometimes we're in our relaxing at the end of the day trance. Sometimes we're in our busy doing work trance. Sometimes we're in our confidence trance. Sometimes we're in our fear trance. But trance states are naturally occurring phenomena that occur all day long, each and every day, through a variety of different experiences as our brains cycle through various levels of alertness or awareness. For example, you probably heard of the alpha level of brain functioning, or the beta level of brain functioning, or the delta level of brain functioning. We associate that often with deep sleep. Well, our bodies cycle naturally through the various levels of brainwave activity, and these are different trance states that we experience each and every day. One of the things that I often see on the internet when I go to a forum, for example, reddit.com /r/hypnosis, is an internet forum where many people who are new to the idea of hypnosis often post a variety of different questions. I usually check out Reddit every single day. If you're another Redditor, here's a shout out to you. I think it's probably one of the coolest websites on the internet. But it's interesting because when I see people who are trying to learn or practice self-hypnosis or other forms of hypnosis, they often ask some very basic questions. They ask, can people really go into trance? That was actually a question I saw on Reddit this morning. Somebody else asked, are trance states real? I think that we often misunderstand what trance is. We've watched a lot of Hollywood movies, and so we think of Igor mindlessly following the master, and we associate that with a trance state. Trance is not about being a mindless zombie. Trance is something that we experience each and every day, all day long, as our brainwave activity cycles and ebbs and flows from high levels to low levels. And we can experience trance in a number of different ways. So the answer to the question, can people really go into trance, is yes. They are always in trance. In fact, as you watch this video, you are in trance right now. Chances are your attention is focused on the words that I'm using, and your internal dialogue is fact-checking to find out if you agree or disagree with Richard. You're letting your critical factor come into play here and making decisions about the things that I'm going to say and what you're going to accept and reject, and really that is a state of learning trance. So trance states are of course real. We can measure trance states. We can see brainwave activity by looking at an EEG. In fact, there are some hypnotists who actually use EEGs or similar devices to measure brainwave patterns during hypnotherapy to determine entry and exit points for trance utilization. So there's really a lot of work in this area. I think that it's our Hollywood perception of what trance is that often makes us wonder if we can experience trance. One of the other questions I see on the internet is, of course, does hypnosis really work? And then the other question, can I hypnotize myself? We know that hypnosis works. One of my favorite websites on the internet is scholar.google.com. Just go to scholar.google.com and type in hypnosis, smoking cessation, hypnosis, burn recovery, hypnosis, cancer treatment, hypnosis, anxiety, hypnosis, weight loss. It doesn't matter what you type in. Hypnosis, fibromyalgia, hypnosis, irritable bowel syndrome. At scholar.google.com, it only returns results from academic journals. And what we can see is that hypnosis is an empirically validated tool to help people make change, experience healing, and experience success. The question, of course, related to self-hypnosis is, can I hypnotize myself? Probably one of the more controversial things, particularly in the area of stage hypnosis, is the idea of all hypnosis being self-hypnosis. Something that, well, people want to debate semantics over, I think is actually accurate. The reality is, all hypnosis really is self-hypnosis, even if I'm guiding somebody else through that process. The reason why is simple. They have to internalize it and choose to follow the suggestions I give. And so all hypnosis really is self-hypnosis. And so the answer to the question, can I hypnotize myself, is absolutely 100% yes. Now there's two words that you're going to hear associated with hypnosis. The first is heterohypnosis. This is somebody leading another person into hypnosis. This could be stage hypnosis. It could be clinical hypnosis. It could be just a demonstration of what some people even refer to as street hypnosis, impromptu hypnosis. Heterohypnosis is me guiding another person through a process of hypnosis. Auto-hypnosis is you, on your own, choosing to utilize the naturally occurring trance states in a way that's meaningful to you. That's really what auto-hypnosis is. It's about me learning techniques and strategies for being able at this time and this place to change trance states, to utilize trance states, and to develop resources from those trance states that we all experience every single day. Auto-hypnosis is going to be the focus of this course. The reason why? When we're done with this course, on your own, without having to pay somebody for weekly office visits, you're going to have the skills necessary to benefit fully from the ideas of self-hypnosis. When I meet people who tell me they've tried self-hypnosis and it didn't work, the reason why it didn't work is probably because, at least at some level, they've bought into some of the myths surrounding self-hypnosis. And myth number one is that auto-hypnosis is the same experience as hetero-hypnosis. Now, let me give you an extreme example here. People say, well, in self-hypnosis, I want to give myself a keyword so that every time I hear that keyword, I will cluck like a chicken. Now, this actually works in stage hypnosis, but it works in stage hypnosis not because of hypnotic phenomena, but really because of social compliance and contextual performance theories. Seriously, if you want to cluck like a chicken every time you hear the word Lodi, for example, you don't actually need to go through a self-hypnosis product. You just need to make the decision that every time you hear the word Lodi, you're going to cluck like a chicken. Auto-hypnosis is not the same experience as hetero-hypnosis. The reason why is because it occurs in a different context. I gave you a stage hypnosis example just now. The reason why I gave a stage hypnosis example, even though most of you have probably never even seen a stage hypnosis show, and aren't doing stage hypnosis. The reason why is I often hear people who tell me, I want to have the same response in auto-hypnosis that I have in hetero-hypnosis. Here in my office, when people come in, they're sitting over here in the comfortable recliner. They have the headphones on. They're listening to some relaxing music. And they're actually hearing me through their headphones speaking through a microphone. Here in my office, experiencing hetero-hypnosis is really, really easy. I've created a special place, a special environment, using special sounds, and they've taken time out of their busy day to actually come over to a place where they have an expectation of going into and experiencing hypnotic trance. Here in my office, it's very easy for people, especially with my guidance, to experience deep states of trance, to manifest hypnotic phenomena, and make significant changes. But the experience of auto-hypnosis, when I practice it on my own, is different than my clients have here in my office. The reason why is not because it's less effective or less powerful, but because it is in fact a different context. So myth number one is that you will have the same feeling, the same sensation, the same trance state on your own that you would have if you went to see a hypnotist or participated in a stage hypnosis show. One of the things that we have to recognize is that different forms of hypnosis have a different experience surrounding them. That does not mean it's less powerful, less effective, or not as good as. It simply means that it is different than. Myth number two. Myth number two is that a special feeling occurs in self-hypnosis, if you're doing it right, that you'll never have at any other time in life. I meet people all the time who say, I tried self-hypnosis and it didn't work. It felt like I was just sitting in a chair with my eyes closed, taking time to think about stuff. Well, really, that's probably what it does feel like to most people. The reason why they don't associate that with hypnosis is because they think that there is some special, magical, or mystical experience that they should be having in self-hypnosis that they never experience at any other time in life. I do a lot of training for professional hypnotists on hypnotic phenomena. Things like amnesia, things like analgesia, things like negative and positive hallucination. Some of the remarkable things that can come about as a result of experiencing hypnosis. One of the things that I always stress when I teach those classes is that there is no hypnotic phenomena that occurs only in hypnosis and does not occur in real life as well. The reason why? Because life is hypnotic. Let me give you an example. A negative hypnotic hallucination. A negative hypnotic hallucination is when you don't see something that is right in front of you. Now, here's the way a negative hypnotic suggestion might work in a public demonstration of hypnosis. The suggestion in stage hypnosis, for example, might be that that the hypnotist is invisible. This is one of the more popular skits in stage hypnosis, and it becomes a funny way to demonstrate hypnotic phenomena. People actually don't see the hypnotist right in front of them. And when people go see a stage hypnosis show and they see this hypnotic phenomena, they say, wow, how did that happen? But negative hypnotic hallucination happens to all of us all of the time. Has this ever happened to you? Oh my gosh, the day is over. It's time to go. I have looked everywhere for my keys. Where are my keys? They're not in the drawer. Where are my keys? Not in my pockets. Where are my keys? I can't find my keys anywhere. I've looked everywhere for my keys. I might even leave, go down to my car, see if I left my keys in the car. Then I come back up, open up the office door, come in, and lo and behold, there are the keys right there in front of me on the desk. So that is an example of a negative hypnotic hallucination that occurs in everyday life. We've all been unable to find something that is, in fact, directly in front of us. Everything that occurs in hypnosis occurs in real life as well. So chances are that during auto-hypnosis, you're not going to have an experience that you've never had before because life is hypnotic. And self-hypnosis is about utilizing the trance states that occur naturally rather than creating a mystical state that doesn't occur in our everyday world. The third myth is that self-hypnosis is hard to experience. In fact, self-hypnosis is actually easy to experience. Probably the easiest way to demonstrate that would be to go through a short process of self-hypnosis right here, right now. And so as you watch this video, I'm just sitting here at the desk, and you won't miss anything by closing the eyes. So go ahead and close your eyes down. As you breathe in and breathe out with the eyes closed, let your hands rest on the desk in front of you or on the armrest of your chair. And pay attention to the body and relax any muscles in the body where you're holding tension of the day. As you breathe in, breathe out. Use each breath to note this moment, setting aside any worries about yesterday, any anxieties about tomorrow, and just be fully present, listening to my voice as you participate in this course. As you breathe in and breathe out, just notice anywhere in the body where you're carrying tension of the day. Let that tension relax. Unclench the jaw. Let your shoulders relax. You're doing perfect. Not asleep, just deeply relaxed. Breathing in, breathing out. And as I count backwards from 5 to 1, with each number, simply double that experience of relaxation, allowing yourself to enter into a resource state of learning, of confidence, and of empowerment. 5, 4, 3. You're doing perfect. With each number, each breath, doubling that sensation of relaxation, entering into that resource state we call hypnosis, where learning takes place, where empowerment takes place. 4, 3, 2. You're doing fantastic. Notice your heart rate is already a bit slower. Your breathing is smooth and rhythmic. All the way down now. 3, 2, 1, 0. Now test. Pay attention to this experience that you've created right here, right now. Do you feel like you've accessed that part of the mind that is able to focus on learning new things? Do you feel more focused, more centered? What you've actually done here is, in just about 1 minute, you've created a resource state, not because I've done something to you, but because you've followed the suggestions or the process and allowed yourself to create this magnificent experience. As you breathe in and breathe out, continuing to relax with the eyes closed, I'll give you another moment to really focus on this resource state that you've created already right here in lesson number 1. Breathing in, breathing out, feeling fantastic. Now, because this is only a demonstration, it is almost time to open your eyes. So take in a breath, and when you breathe in, pay attention to that breath, letting the oxygen flow to the bottom of the lungs, noticing the feeling of the oxygen spreading throughout the body, through our blood vessels and blood supply. Taking another breath, feeling energized from that breath. And as I count from 1 to 3, be ready to open the eyes, feeling fantastic, and remaining in a resource state, a trance state, of openness to learning new things. 1, 2, 3, feeling fantastic. Now, the myth was that self-hypnosis is difficult to experience. But right here, I didn't do anything to you. In fact, I'm a two-dimensional video. In real life, I'm probably actually right now out playing with my kids or washing my car or flying on an airplane or teaching a class or doing all the things that I do. You're the one who chose to follow that process, to create those states, and to experience something that's valuable to you. I'm going to teach you throughout this series a number of different techniques. That was a basic process, but a number of different techniques to help you utilize auto-hypnosis. One of the myths of self-hypnosis is that self-hypnosis is not as effective as hetero-hypnosis. The reality is hypnosis is a useful tool, and auto-hypnosis is a useful tool as well. The reason why people have a difficult time with auto-hypnosis versus hetero-hypnosis and deriving benefit from it really is related to 2 factors. So whenever I hear somebody say, well, self-hypnosis isn't as effective, I got to ask about these two things. In fact, there was a study done a few years back on self-hypnosis and heterohypnosis and in burn patients. And a large number of the patients in the study were able to experience trance states that could help them to alleviate their pain when in a process of heterohypnosis with a professional. But only about 10% of the patients reported that they could actually utilize heterohypnosis or auto-hypnosis to minimize their pain level. The reason why is twofold here. Number one, auto-hypnosis takes practice. That's why this is a 5-week series. Those patients learned a technique and then were asked, well, did that minimize your pain? Pain is, of course, something that is very obvious to people, and a large number of those people said, well, no, but it works when I'm with somebody guiding me through that process. Auto-hypnosis takes practice. Just like people practice yoga for years, just like people practice meditation for years, self-hypnosis is something that takes practice for us to become comfortable and proficient with and learn the nuances of utilizing these different trance states. The second reason why I think those burn patients didn't do as well with self-hypnosis is that because in crisis, they lacked the self-efficacy to engage in the process without having previous experiences. This is, again, I think, related to the need to actually practice the techniques of self-hypnosis. One of the other myths is that self-hypnosis is way different than meditation. People are surprised to find that I actually view hypnosis and meditation really as, in many cases, the exact same processes. Self-hypnosis is really a form of meditation. The difference is not really in the processes, it's not really in the experiences, it's really in the goal. The goal of self-hypnosis is to utilize trance states to derive a specific outcome. Meditation uses, in many cases, the exact same processes and the exact same experiences, but there's a difference in that there is not an established goal or outcome that we desire from the meditation practice. So I really don't view self-hypnosis and meditation as being very different at all, other than whether or not we've established a desired outcome or not for what we're doing with the process. The other myth that I hear all the time related to self-hypnosis is that while using CDs or using Richard's video or using other aids like even a metronome, that's not really self-hypnosis, or that's cheating. I think that using CDs, MP3s, using tools like binaural beats, for those who are familiar with that, to help us achieve certain levels of brainwave activity, or even the monotony of a metronome as a tool for establishing heart rate and physical response during the practice of self-hypnosis. These are all resources and tools that are available to us. I think that it is perfectly okay to incorporate those things into our practice of self-hypnosis. Now, let's move into an actual experience of self-hypnosis. How do you begin your daily practice of self-hypnosis? First, you need to find a place where you can do this, a sacred place, a safe place, a comfortable place. I think this is important during the practice sessions. You'll move to a point where you can literally practice self-hypnosis anywhere. But during this 5-week program, what I'd really like you to do each week is to go to a place. This is my office. It's a tranquil place for me. Sometimes I come up here and simply use this time to meditate or practice self-hypnosis. In my house, I find that there's one room in my house where I'm usually not being disturbed by others who live in my house with me, and it's a great place for me to practice self-hypnosis. I think it's important to turn off the phone. I think it's important to turn off programs on the computer which might talk to us or vie for our attention, and to actually establish a time and a place for the practice of self-hypnosis. Early in the morning, before bed, a siesta, or a break in the middle of the afternoon. I think it's important to establish a pattern of self-hypnosis where we devote ourselves to regular practice. So we need a place and we need time. I like to give myself 20 to 30 minutes to practice meditation or self-hypnosis on a daily basis. The third thing, I think it's really helpful for those who are new to self-hypnosis to set a regular schedule, a regular time for doing this, morning, afternoon, evening, etc. And then to truly benefit from self-hypnosis, we also need to learn to simply be still. That's actually probably one of the most difficult things for those who are learning self-hypnosis, learning to just be still. Now, I hear from a lot of people who say, but when I'm still, my mind is still going. My mind is still thinking. How do I turn off the mind? You actually don't need to worry about that. A lot of people think in meditation or self-hypnosis, they need to have a clear mind or no thoughts. Minds think. That's what they do. They are supposed to always be going. In fact, if they're not always going, then death is happening. And so we don't want a clear mind. We want a mind that is doing what minds do. And minds think. The idea in self-hypnosis or meditation is to not follow a thought or become distracted by a thought or enmeshed by a thought. But if we try to stop thinking when we're still, it's going to make us feel like a failure. Here's what I do in my self-hypnosis practice. I might be taking a minute to practice, and I'll simply say to myself, that was a thought. That was a fear. That was a happiness. I'll label that thought, acknowledge its presence, but then redirect my attention back to the breath. Because the breath denotes this moment. It enables me to stop following a thought rather than stop thinking a thought. Now, Jon Kabat-Zinn, who's written a lot of books on meditation, gives us 7 attitudes for mindfulness, and I think these are really useful in self-hypnosis as well. The first is being non-judgmental. Have a curiosity during your self-hypnosis sessions. Have an acceptance of maybe a difficult time sitting still, maybe a difficult time not following thoughts. Don't say to yourself, I can't do this, this isn't working, I'm not good at it. Just experience the moment without being harsh on yourself. In fact, I think one of the greatest benefits of self-hypnosis is it is often a practice in being good to ourselves. The second thing Jon Kabat-Zinn tells us, an attitude of mindfulness, is patience. Patience. Recognize that it takes time to become proficient, to create a multitude of experiences, and it's okay if in the first session we don't have every experience that we desire from self-hypnosis. The third idea during the process is to have a beginner's mind, to have a curiosity, to ask yourself, how am I benefiting from this? What's the nature of my mind? Who am I seeing in my thoughts, and what am I thinking? I think trust, number 4 on our list, is important. It's faith in our own experiences. Not what your mind thinks, but in that deeper, non-verbal, non-conceptual place of knowing. Trust your intention during the process of self-hypnosis and your wish to be free and to be happy. Non-striving is number 5. During self-hypnosis, there's really no place to go. There's nobody to talk to. There's nothing to see. It's really about just being present. You don't have to try to be hypnotized. We all are already in trance. Once you accept I'm already in some form of trance, then you can stop trying to be hypnotized and ask yourself, how can I utilize this trance state? Acceptance. Acceptance is number 6 on Jon Kabat-Zinn's list. It's acknowledging the reality of what is. Today I'm distracted. Today I'm not deriving as much benefit as I did last week during my practice? Acceptance. Wow, I'm having a whole lot of powerful emotions right now. And those emotions are coming from deep within me and seem to be something I don't have control over. Okay. You don't have to try to, non-striving, you don't have to try to experience self-hypnosis in any particular way. Simply experience it as it is. Accept the experience. Sometimes that's a smile. Sometimes it might even be tears. It's okay. And the seventh thing that John Kabat-Zinn tells us is non-attachment. The idea here is to not get lost in our thoughts. To recognize that when we have a thought, we can simply acknowledge it as a thought. Our mind is doing what our mind is supposed to do, and we can let it go to wherever it is that thoughts go that we're not choosing to follow. And non-attachment to our physical sensations, to our mental experiences, our thoughts, or to our emotional states is a key attitude in self-hypnosis. Now, I've spent much more time in this video than I'm going to spend in the successive videos. In fact, each successive video is about 20 minutes on average. Some of them are a little bit shorter, some of them are a little bit longer. The reason why I've spent more time in this first video is, of course, because this is a foundation for us to experience self-hypnosis. I'm now going to move into a section of the video that I think can help you to experience self-hypnosis. So to this point, we've been talking about it. Let's go ahead and experience self-hypnosis right here, right now. And the first thing is to simply be still. Simply being still with no expected outcome, no expected experience, just being still. Practicing the art of being present in the moment and still. So I'm actually going to use my watch. I'm going to time us for 1 minute. And as you participate by experiencing a moment of stillness here, I'm going to mark the end of that minute with the sound of a small bell. Again, the idea here is to be non-judgmental, to not say I'm doing it wrong, I'm not doing it right, to have a beginner's mind, to just be curious about your experience. To be non-striving, to accept that which you experience during this moment of stillness, and non-attachment, not worried that your mind is thinking, just letting your thoughts be a thought without following those thoughts. And so I'm going to time you for 1 minute. And as you participate in this course, simply close your eyes, sitting in the chair where you are, never going into a sleep, simply relaxed and experiencing a minute of stillness. I'm going to begin timing you now. Simply focus on being still. The easiest way to do that is to pay attention to the breath. Simply noticing each breath in and each breath out. In fact, you can even call the breath by its name. You can say, in your own mind, in. And as you breathe out, you can say out. But just practice stillness for 1 minute, 60 seconds. And that marks the end of 60 seconds of stillness. If you haven't opened your eyes yet, take in a deep breath, open the eyes, feel absolutely fantastic. Now that was the first part of self-hypnosis. Simply practicing being still for a minute, for a period of time, in a place of learning. And what was your experience there? Some of you probably found being still for a full minute tedious and difficult. Some of you spent the full minute deeply relaxed, feeling a sense of joy at being able to take a minute from the busy stressfulness of the world around you and actually practice with intention a minute of stillness. There's not a right or a wrong way to experience self-hypnosis, but that's really our starting point. Before we really learn anything else, simply being comfortable, taking time to devote to the practice of self-hypnosis. Now, to take a minute of stillness and to take it to the next level, what we're going to do is we're going to add a number count. And the reason why we're going to add a number count to that moment of stillness is because numbers represent something. Numbers do, the beginning and the end of something. And so it can denote really in our own mind the beginning of trance utilization and a place where we're accessing that resource state that we call learning or intuition or creativity or anything else that we're trying to accomplish in hypnosis. And so before giving you a minute to practice stillness, what I'd like you to do is simply follow my suggestions for a moment. Each suggestion building on the previous suggestion to take you to a deep state of relaxation, trance utilization, even creativity. And so the first thing I'd like you to do is simply close your eyes for a moment. With the eyes closed, notice anywhere in the body where you're carrying the tension of the day. If you're carrying tension in your shoulders, let the shoulders relax. If you're carrying tension in your jaw, just unclench the jaw. Let the muscles in your body be completely relaxed. And pay attention to your breath, breathing in, breathing out. You don't have to speed up or slow down the breath. Just pay attention to the breath. And be aware of any place in the body where you're carrying the tension of the day. And let that tension simply melt away. Now go ahead and open your eyes. Open your eyes for a minute. Okay. Breathe in, stretch out if you need to. Were you able to just take a moment there to breathe in, breathe out, to relax the muscles of the body, and to experience a state of really concentration or of learning or creativity? That's awesome. It's exactly what we're supposed to be doing right now. Let's add to that a little bit. Go ahead and close your eyes again. And with your eyes closed, just bring yourself right back to where you left off. Let the muscles relax. Let your breathing be smooth and rhythmic. Let your heart rate be calm and regular. And notice your hands. Notice your hands resting on your lap. If your hands are crossed or clasped, or if they're not resting on your lap or the armrest of the chair, simply move them into that position. Let those hands relax. As you breathe in and breathe out, with each breath accessing a deeper level of relaxation. Know that you've committed to this time of learning, and that the benefits of learning will be lifelong for you. And that, of course, feels fantastic. As you breathe in and out, letting any tension that remains simply drift away. Focus on those hands. Your hands relaxing on your lap or the armrest of the chair. One of the things that's awesome about hypnosis is our mind's ability to be creative. As you relax the hands, I want you to think of the word heavy, heavy. And notice how when the hands are relaxed, how heavy they are on your lap or the arm of the chair. You can even say to yourself, my hands are heavy. My hands are heavy. Now think of the word warmth. Warmth like that which comes from the sun, or warmth like that which might come from inside of the body. And focus on your hands, your heavy hands, and say to yourself, my hands are warm and heavy. My hands are warm and heavy. My hands are warm and heavy. And let your hands be both warm and heavy. Notice a sensation of warmth in the back of the hands, in the fingertips, in the palm of the hands, as your hands relax on your lap or the armrest of the chair. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? To use that creative part of the mind to create warmth and a feeling of heaviness and relaxation. In fact, you can even test it. Feel so comfortable to let your hands be warm and heavy that if you try to lift your hands right now, you'll find it becomes impossible to lift your hands because they're so comfortable resting on that armrest of the chair or on your lap. Go ahead, try to lift your hands, but let them just stay locked down tight. You're doing fantastic. Breathe in, breathe out, and double that experience of relaxation. Perfect. Now, go ahead and open your eyes. Open your eyes. Okay. Open your eyes for a minute. Pretty amazing, huh? Just a couple of minutes, you've followed a simple process that, although I've guided you through, is one you have chosen to follow. And you've been able to create from within an experience that actually changed your physical experience. You became relaxed, and you let your hands become both warm and heavy. Now let's add a number count. And when we add the number count, we're going to count backwards from 10 to 1. We can count from 20 to 1, 10 to 1, 5 to 1. Doesn't really matter. We're going to go from 10 to 1 here. And when we get to the end of our number count, find yourself in that place that you hoped to experience by taking this course. Probably a state of creativity, a state of learning, a state of compassion towards yourself, a state of gratitude, a state of deep relaxation. Closing the eyes down now, letting the hands rest again comfortably at your side, warm and heavy. Each breath in, each breath out, doubling the sensation of relaxation. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Doing perfect. Each breath, each number, relaxing even further into that state we call hypnosis. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And in the state of stillness, a state that you've created by simply following a process. You have access to all of those resources within that creative part of your mind that you'll be able to utilize in each section of the next 4 courses to experience success in every aspect of life. So you can even congratulate yourself for taking this time to learn something new. And I'm going to give you another minute of stillness. which will end with the sound of a small bell. Another minute of stillness for you to simply enjoy this experience of self-hypnosis, which you've created today. Beginning now. Taking in a breath, feeling fantastic. Taking in another breath, feeling energetic. And if your eyes aren't open yet, when I count to 3, simply open the eyes, feeling fantastic. 1, 2, 3, ready for the rest of the day. Now, my hope in this lecture is that you've learned about auto-hypnosis and you've already begun to experience some ideas and strategies for self-induction by following the process that I've gone through here in the video. The audio MP3 actually guides you through something very similar to what I just did, which is entering a state of hypnosis through hypnotic induction, which you have the ability to do on your own. The assignment is real simple. Each day, every day for the next week, before lesson number 2, set some time aside, set a place aside, and practice this on a daily basis. My promise to you, for those of you who do that each and every day, is at the end of a week, you will find that the experience of self-hypnosis has become alive for you. And that it'll become easy for you to benefit in all of our successive lessons. For those of you who actually don't follow that assignment or that suggestion to set aside a time and a place and to practice each and every day, I can promise you nothing will happen. I make that promise to all of my clients when I give them an assignment. One of the other things for those who work as professionals in the area of hypnosis that I want to make you aware of is the ICBCH certification program in medical meditation and stress management. This certification program, I think, dovetails perfectly into working with clients related to self-hypnosis and medical meditation, and it is probably one of our more popular training programs and certification programs with the ICBCH. So below this video, actually at the bottom of the page, below the other resources, you'll actually find a link for those of you who are interested in furthering your education beyond this resource package and becoming a certified medical meditation specialist or a certified stress management specialist through the ICBCH. Something I would encourage any professional who wants to be able to take this to the next level to do. I'm very happy that you have participated fully in this program. I want to congratulate you for going through the first video with me. You can download the PDF script. You can download the MP3, or you can listen to it online. Either way is fine. But practice that assignment with intention, utilizing the concepts I've talked about in today's lesson each and every day for the next week.